And cue Miriam up while we're talking about this because she wants to talk about pretty much the exact same thing.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, if there is a God, he clearly pointed John to that and had Miriam call just in time for us to discuss this. And I've, we've had this kind of question before, should I come out? Should I pretend? It's going to be different in each case as to what the right move is going to be or the best move is going to be. Are you there, Mariam?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, I want to say good job outsmarting Brian Brushwood on that scam school math puzzle.
Oh, has that been posted? I didn't
Yeah.
know. Oh, so yeah, Brian's here in Austin, by the way. Now that I can promote stuff, I'll be happy to promote Scam School with my friend Brian Brushwood, social engineering at the bar. And I've done several episodes with him on different things. And of course, he has fooled the pants off me. So it was good to have a math kind of puzzle that I could sort through. So I'm glad that was posted.
Anyway, I am a singer, and I've been told several times that my best shot at finding stable careers is church jobs. And of course, I have a problem with that as an atheist. And like, what if I have to, represent the church that I would work at in something and have to, fake being a believer for I don't know how long. So I'm not trying to like replace the people I'm close to with a public access show that makes any sense. But I just want to know, do you know anybody who's been in that position? They don't have to be performers, but just anybody. I know you've worked with people from the Clergy Project and stuff. And do you what advice would you give, or what advice have you heard from them?
Yeah, we can start by pointing out the Clergy Project. If you do a Google search for it, basically it is an anonymous web forum for clergy members who are non-believers, who are stuck in their position, stuck in the pulpit, stuck in their music ministry, whatever the case may be. I know several members. I've managed to counsel a couple of them on the phone, and I think it's a great project because some of these people get stuck. They have no way out. They have no idea what they're going to do. They don't have a skill set that applies outside of the church, and yet they've got families to take care of. And so there's a lot of discussion there about, should I keep pretending? How long do I keep pretending? How do I find my way out of this? And the good news is that many people do find their way out. I also know some people who work for churches in technical capacities. I'll get emails from atheists who say, I'm a sound engineer and I've been working for this church or several churches. I set up their sound equipment, and occasionally I'll show up on Sundays or for special events and run it. Some of them are open about the fact that they're non-believers, and some churches are okay with this. I mean, they're bringing you in for a job. You have the expertise that they need, and some of them will probably look at it as a chance to, we should allow a non-believer to come in and do this because they're going to get to see our passion play and interact with our people, and maybe we'll be able to win them over. And so it may not be a problem.
I didn't even think of that.
I'm a big fan of being honest about who you are, provided you're comfortable with it. I'm also generally opposed to, lying just for the sake of, having a job or keeping a job. But if you don't have an opportunity for a job and you're good at it, I think if I were you, if you're in a position where you can kind of try and test out the field a bit, talk to them and say, I don't share your beliefs, but I'd be, happy to work with you, provided I'm not doing it in a ministerial capacity where I'm expected to, talk to people or share the good news. If you're looking for someone to sing and perform, plus money from the church gets directed to godless heathens. People will email about advertisements on our YouTube videos and stuff, and they'll say, "Oh, how do you get this to stop? They're putting God ads on your YouTube videos," and I'm like, "Let them. By all means, let them, because that money is directed away from they're paying to advertise on our product, essentially."
Nice.
So, But when it comes to kind of what we were talking about with the Dear Abby letter, interacting with friends and family, I'm still an advocate of honesty, but you have to make sure that you're willing to accept all the potential consequences. And I don't want to trivialize the fact that some people lose their family and their social network over this because their family just can't abide hanging out with a non-believer.
Yeah. I mean, it's different for me than for the people who are coming from religious backgrounds, because I'm coming from, a secular background, but I wasn't like raised to be an atheist, but I wasn't raised in any particular. I wasn't raised religiously, so I'm an out and proud atheist. And when somebody asks, I'll always tell them that it would still be. It would just feel dishonest working for a church.
Yeah, and if, by all means, if you're doing something that you're not comfortable with, maybe you shouldn't. But I don't know, your situation or what other options you've got. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on what you're doing and what you're comfortable with. I've met a lot of musicians who perform at churches, and they're professionals doing a job. They're playing music. That's not necessarily endorsing the message of the church. Now, if you're singing, then you may be singing lyrics that you don't agree with or find objectionable. So that might be a different threshold there.
Yeah.
As it turns out, really throughout history, artists and musicians have tended to do a lot of work for churches because that's who hired them.
And
that's who had the money.
Christianity has been the basis for so much art and stuff, and of course so has like Greek mythology and everything.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're the people who have the money and the power. Right. You get to build massive cathedrals and have them painted and pay people to come and sing and write wonderful music. I find it kind of interesting that you might be performing at a church and someone will be convinced that you're a believer because you sing so well and convey the message such that they feel moved by it. And then there's the opportunity to say, no, I don't actually believe this. I'm just singing it.
Acting.
Yeah, acting, yeah. And by the way, I know a bunch of people who do take their talents and do, local theater or, work for jingle companies. But there's weddings will take places in churches all the time. And I know that some of the people who are getting married don't care so much whether or not the person who's singing the secular song that they picked out to sing at their wedding is a believer or not. Not that I'm, you should be a wedding singer, Mariam. What are you thinking?
Yeah. So thanks for your insight. I'm going to let you get to other callers.
Yeah, we can actually get to Caleb, whose name is on the screen while you're talking, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But, all right. Thanks, Mariam. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
So you were, kind of raised Unitarian Universalist and stuff.
Right.
There's not as much conflict there. I mean, I was never a big fan of UU things because a lot of it seemed a little too wooey, like they were trying to be something to everybody, and that, made any religious aspect watered down, but also didn't emphasize secular humanism as much and things like that. Were there discussions about people in situations like that, or does it just not really show its head in UU environments?
It doesn't come up too much in UU churches because, like you said, there's kind of a wide variety of people believing different things. And they, I was involved with the choir, and we sang a lot of songs, but the UU hymnal is very secularized, so they change all the kind of, at least the overt God language, they'll change to something a little more generic. And then there's the old joke that, how do you tell it's a Unitarian congregation? It's why do Unitarians sing so badly? It's because they're reading ahead to see if they agree with the words. And, there's some beautiful songs, hymns that are Christian hymns, and you don't want to give up the beautiful hymns, so the Unitarian hymnal changes some of the words around to make it a little more universal, and you get to sing the same old songs that people are used to, and hopefully with updated words. So,
by the way, I don't know if we have any. I haven't actually scoured every shelf in the library, but I wouldn't mind having a variety of hymnals from different, specifically a Baptist hymnal, because I'm always amused at the Baptist hymnal, or all the Baptist hymnals I've seen. The last hymn or the last song is 666, and then it goes into a bunch of call and response things. But the last actual song with music is hymn number 666, which
that's interesting.
Which amuses me. But